Tax and Appraisers Foundations to let me a scope to speak or share some deliberations with the participants regarding the challenges related to agricultural land valuation and farmers loan. To be very honest, frankly speaking, I had no actually specific any idea about what to speak and what the subject I would be speak about. So I have been in contact with Biswarup ji last 2 days, just about to know on the subjects which I have to deliver with you. Myself, sir has given my introduction. Actually, my personal working field, I am representing the West Bengal State Cooperative Agriculture and Rural Development Bank. To some participants, particular the nomenclature of this bank may sound some not knowing about the what type of nature of activities these types of bank do. So first of all, let me clear about that. So we are mainly the cooperative banks, but mainly deal with the long-term finances. So unlike short-term finance, mainly crop loan, we deal with only the long-term project finances, and the duration of the loan is from mid to long-term, 3 to 5 years, and in some cases more than that also. So on that basis, on the subject that on this seminar regarding specific subject, the land valuation. So we deal with we mainly give the loan to farmers. So from our working experience, I have brought some information with you and I will be sharing that particular slide with you on the areas of farm loan and how land valuation is related to our banking activities to that aspect. So let's start. First of all, let us share with you what is the scenario is now at present from banking viewpoint. So all we know that agriculture in India is the most labor intensive in our country specific, but it is also the essential activity also. Agriculture in India by profession has not been able to take a shape as purely a professional outlook like earning from that. So agriculturists only know about that. Another scenario is day by day agricultural land holding share is also decreasing with the passage of time and expansion of population. Agricultural land hold sharing is also decreasing, and in our country it is also a fact that off-land farming activities has not yet become so popular. So farming without land, this particular scientific concept has not yet been developed up till now in our country. But the most real fact is that farmers need funding for capital formation and meeting up recurring expenses like purchase of seeds, manure, fuel, working capital requirements, etc. So these are the scenarios that we deal with. Now, from a banker's point of view, what we face challenges regarding the farm loan for farmers. I think you all know about that we have to participate in specific state-promoted, state-sponsored priority sector lending, and a major section of that target aims to give loan to farmers. So there are various types of activities, purpose, schemes, sector also. But another real fact is that there are very few hassle-free arrangements of credit facilities for farmers in general sense. There are so many programs, so many promotional programs in the field that government will give loan, government will give such and such. In block level, there are also some advertisement. But when the farmers go to the financial institutions, they face so many problems. Now, for a banker, the problem is to give a loan. Always bank gives loan on the basis of some security. And for giving a farmer loan, for the farmers, only the real asset, land is the real asset available with the farmers for raising funds. And hence, to provide loans to farmers, mortgage of land is resorted to as basic security. So, other than farmers, when we think about other entrepreneurs, they have some other securities accepting land. But for giving loan, farmers were very at the ground level, they have only the real asset, that is land. And bankers, to give loan, they have to create mortgage of that land, and against that land, mortgaging loan is given. So here comes the question of valuation of agricultural land in real terms. And that stands for a major issue for a banker. I think one of the main issue of this seminar is that valuation of different thing, and the topic that I have been given to speak about on the valuation of agricultural land. What we face some problem about the mortgaging thing. Now, the present regulations and the procedures of our country for transfer of mortgage and cultivable agricultural lands are extremely cumbersome and also the time-gobbling matter. And bankers need to go through a series of time-consuming process in searching, establishing legal opinion on non-encumbrance title of land, and sometimes court search of the land possession becomes also necessary in some special cases. And after that, after following such legal processes, then the land valuation process actually is undertaken by the bank. So when a bank is satisfied with him that the title is clear, there is no problem about possession of land from the legal viewpoint, then comes the question of land valuation. So in banking viewpoint, so banks have different policies about valuation of land. Some banks value their land of agricultural land on market value. Some banks have their own internal valuation policy on which the land valuation is done, and on the basis of which a security value is worked out, and then it is matched with the loan amount, and then the decision for credit facility is undertaken. Now, from my bank, I have that we follow the procedure that we follow generally. I am describing that particular thing about before you. So, whenever in our banks, how we calculate the valuation of land, I am trying to explain the thing before you. So the process of calculation of land valuation. So first we go to the website WBE registration, that particular site, and after typing that, we click on this particular, that is the calculator for market value, SD, etc. That is not being, that is the last one of the second line. And after clicking that, the first thing, that key, that is market value of land, we enter that by clicking that. And when we, after typing that, this particular website is open, and here we have to put the land details of the farmer But before that, we take the sample basis, different details of under different Mauja, district, police station, different types of data, sample data we collect, and then we work out the valuation present market value that is published in this site. So after comparing all these things or compiling all these things, I have brought here a sample worksheet that we generally do in our banks. Here in the land details of Malda district, we have taken the sample of these blocks that is given here. The letter is sometimes it is not being read, no, it is illegible. So all these are headings there are name of the blocks and under which the types of lands, and under each type of land the valuation of each block is given. And we work out the average of all the sample data collected valuation, and after arriving that we work out the average market value of different types of land. Types of lands are irrigated, non-irrigated, Bastu, municipal area, panchayat area, pond, garden. Now the question comes, why these types of activities or categories are needed? Because we need to finance fishery projects, housing projects, other horticulture projects, farm forestry projects. So for these purposes, different types or characteristics of lands or classification of land is needed. So if I want to give a loan of a pineapple loan, suppose, we have to work out on the irrigated land and under panchayat area. So we just take those two samples and work out the average and then work out the market value of that. And after arriving that price, that particular value, we apply a security percentage on that. Suppose 60 or 70% of the market value, that becomes the basic security value of the land. And then we proceed on the credit facility from after that different angles. So this is the process of land valuation that we generally work out in our banks. Now, the process that we have I have described here is it is very clear that bankers need to go through a series of very time-consuming process to work out the land valuation. And the question is how frequently this revision of valuation of land is done. In principle, normally these workings of land valuation generally changes or revision changes 2 or 3 years after. Because whenever it is felt that on a particular area the market value may have changed, then the requisition comes from our district level that this type of classification of land valuation is needed to be changed. Then the management of our head office convene a meeting, and after that in a meeting this calculation is again done from the very beginning according to this, and then the valuation is again revised. So in a nutshell, this process is not at all a very short or very easy or very convenient also for a banker or for a farmer to get loan. Because it is quite clear when a farmer applies for a loan to a bank, so a bank need some time to do this searching, legal opinion, then valuation. Such a time span is needed, and in the meantime there is a possibility that the farmer may lose the crop season for that particular loan. So this is a very challenge for us, for the bankers. This is in reality really a very challenge. Now what we may think for, because the situation or the process that I have described here till now, that is still existing today. Now how we may come out of this particular cumbersome situation, I have tried to share some things with you, that a simplified and digitalized procedure would ensure that the transactions are completed in a good time and there are no delays in the farmers getting the required financing for the purpose of ensuring that appropriate crops that may be cultivated as per need of the season. So all the process for working out the land valuation may be done in a simplified manner or a more user-friendly digitalized procedure. And the regulations that would have to ensure that there is enough comfort for the financial sector, specifically the bankers, to provide for ample finances without the requirement of special schemes of the government, or schemes means special regulations of the government, so that bankers, they themselves need to give so many in numbers also and in quantity also to give finance for the farmers. But the process or the time consuming factor stands in the way. So we are thinking about abolishing that particular hindrances from that angle, so that the farmers give very quickly and hassle-free loan. And also from the banker security viewpoint, to ensure that the enforcement mechanism available for the banks in case of default by farmers is in the line with other enforcement mechanisms. So banks have also need to think about if the loan becomes default, how can bank recover the money? So the case is when the bankers give loan only on the basis of mortgage of land. So that particular loan, if it becomes default, how can the bank recover the money? By revoking the mortgage of the land. So this particular legal process should be, enforcement of that particular mortgage procedure should be hassle-free, so that the bank's money doesn't go bad or the loan doesn't become NPA. And also the empowerment of banks and simplification of the mortgage procedures would also ensure further empowerment of the agricultural sector of the country. That is, in short, this entire process, the process of land valuation, agricultural land valuation specifically, should be made more simple, and mortgage procedure also should be more friendly, because only for the interest of the agricultural sector of the country. So these are the suggestions that we may give to come out of this particular scenario. So these were the points from a banker that I have shared with you regarding the agricultural land valuation. Thank you.